Welcome to our module 2.2 in Intermediate Excel. We have recently discussed our worksheet protection and workbook protection, and now we are talking about password protection. As we discussed earlier, in some cases you want to protect your workbook with a password, and for that we gave an example of holiday tracker. Now where you want to keep a control and don't want your employees to go ahead and make any changes, but you still allow them to use a file. In this type of scenario, use workbook protection and provide a password. Any option you select show above will prompt you to provide a password, and it's an optional field. So you can either provide a password, or if you don't want to provide it, you can just press OK. It will still protect the workbook sheet as we discussed earlier. Now let's provide the password here. I'm just gonna put 1 2 3 4. Now the key point here is, if I provide the password, remember you have to remember this password always. And the main thing is, if this password you forget and you lose this password and then you come back into this worksheet, it will ask you the password and you cannot make any changes. You have to create a new one from scratch. So always remember the password if you put in one. Okay, now you can re-enter the password into this and press OK. Okay, so now this basically workbook sheet is workbook and sheet both are protected, and I put the password as well. Now the second step I want to discuss here, that will be sharing a workbook. In a working environment, you may have come across this type of situation where most of the files are saved in a shared drive, and sometimes it could be the case where a file is shared in just one department, and sometimes it could be shared with the whole organization. In a regular file, if a person is using a file and then the other person open it, it is open in read-only mode, unless of course the workbook is shared. If you're sharing your workbook with others, it means you're giving them the access for read and write at the same time, and each time a person hit the save button, it will save not just yours work, but work of everyone who has made any changes to the file. So let's take a look at the workbook, how to share that. We can go to the review tab on top again, and after protect sheet and protect workbook, now the third option we have there is share workbook. You can click. Now it opens us a new window, editing in advance, and it also basically gives us the option to share it, and it will tell you who has this workbook open now. So let's say if 10 people in the organization has that workbook open, it will give you that it will display that for you. You can check allow changes by more than one user at the same time. This allows workbook merging. Okay, now workbook sharing is also called workbook merging. Press OK. It will say this action will now save the workbook. Do you want to continue? Yes, I do. I'm going to press or hit OK. Okay, so now if you see, or if you notice here, the protect sheet and protect workbook is gone. It's not available anymore. It's just the share workbook is there. If you already protected the workbook and worksheet, it will come in the same mode. Now I explained in last module, like protect sheet, you got that, and then protect workbook, and this one was share workbook. And if you notice on the top, because I shared it, it's coming as module 2.2 shared, because I just shared the whole workbook. So we'll see you in the next video with other formulas and exercises.